Hi there, it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today I have a teeny weeny project for you. It is a little box and it is, I want to say, just over 2 inches. It's 2 1/8, 2 1/8, 2 1/4 inches square and 3/4 inch deep. It's got a little magnetic closure and then inside it's got a little tin of lip butter. So really nice little just gift for no good reason. This is using the Share What You Love Specialty Designer Series paper, which hopefully you can pick up in this slightly weird light that we've got today. It's kind of overcast here in South Oxfordshire, but it's pearlescent and it's really pretty. And I've used the matching Love What You Do stamp set, and I've just used the floral image and one of the infills, and then I've done that in Rich Raspberry, which I have stamped off for the infill, and I just stamped off the once, and then these are Rich Raspberry Artisan Pearls. So that's that one. I've got another one though, so I thought I would do it in a different colourway. It's an envelope punch board project, and I've got a small piece of the Broadway Birthday specialty paper, and this is gold embossed. And these are that slightly stiffer, almost card, rather than ordinary Designer Series paper. So it's big enough, it's strong enough to be a small box. I wouldn't make a big box out of it. I might make it a lid, but possibly not the base. Anywho, let's get on. The card is, or paper is, cut at 4 7/8 square, and the first punch is at 1 7/8, which is just here. So you just punch and score, and then you slide it along, and the second punch is at 3 inches, and again punch and score, and you just keep going round and round. And do remember that you're trying to be, it's a square, so although you can follow where you've scored, just keep half an eye on your measurements as well, just in case you get out, because the more, whoops, that one didn't punch fully, the more you get out, the more out you will get, if that makes sense. So it is worth just keeping half an eye on where you are. So say 1 7/8, but just follow the score lines, and you're not going to go far wrong. Just keep half an eye. So remember that we are in the very early days of bonus days. So during August, for every £45 or multiple thereof you buy in any one order, and that is important. I'm just going to round the corners because there's a corner rounder here, so I might as well round the corners while I'm at it. So for every £45 or multiple thereof you place in one order, you will get a code for a discount in September of £4.50. So if you were to place 2 orders, you would get 2 codes. If you were to place an order of £90, you'd get 2 codes. My brain. And so on and so on. So the more you order, the more discount codes you get. But it has to be in one order. So if you did £15 in one order and £30 in another, that would not get you a bonus day voucher. They do have to be in the same order. Now, if you were to place an order of £90, you would also, if you shop with me and use my hostess code, which is linked immediately below, then you would also get 3 sunflower rewards. And remember that for every 10 sunflower rewards you get, you are able to cash those in for £30 of product. So really worthwhile doing that. So think multiples of 30 as well as multiples of 45. Right, so I burnished all those score lines, and I'm just going to grab my paper snips, and I'm going to cut up on these little squares here, but I'm going to do it either side of just one of these I'm really not explaining it well. So I'm going to do it this end, and then I'm going to do it the other end. So I'm turning through 180 degrees, and basically I'm just cutting away that score mark. It's not a big wedge. You can take a bigger wedge if you want, but you just need to take out a little wedge so that it all folds up nicely. It's really just so that it's neat. Otherwise you will find that this bit, when you fold it in, is going to be too up, so too proud, and your box won't be quite square. Now, you can use tear and tape. Could you use snail? Probably not. I do like my multi-purpose liquid adhesive. You will have heard me say this before though, less is more. The less you use, the better it works. So don't go mad with it. And all you're doing is bringing that folded edge up to the cut edge, and it's as simple as that. And you just go all the way around and just try and keep it kind of together as you go, because although it does dry quickly, it does need to be held together in order to do that, because otherwise it's just going to dry and not actually do its job. And as we do want it to do its job, it's quite useful to hold everything together. So the other thing to remember is that we do have the blended seasons. Gosh, my brain. We've got the blended seasons limited edition stamp set and dies. So that's another thing to think about. So whilst you're looking at rounding everything up to 45 or the nearest 45 or the nearest £30, do remember to get your ink pads, the classic ink pads, particularly the new colours. If you haven't already got them, this is an amazing time to stock up on these. They're only £7 each, so it can make that little bit of difference between whether you get your voucher or not. So do bear that in mind. Right, now what I didn't get out, but are in my drawer, so that's easy to fix, are my, oops, except they stuck themselves to my drawer, magnets. I have a metal drawer unit, so storing magnets in them is perhaps not the best idea, because they attach, because the closure is just magnets. Now, I have to say I'm not terribly proud of this. I think I'm going to put it underneath, and indeed I may punch out to cover it up, but that's fine. So whilst this is setting, I'll just pop my lip butter in there. Whilst this is setting, I'm going to do some punching. This is just the scrap that I had left after I'd done the previous one. I'm going to use the matching Broadway birthday stamp set, and most of these images are going to be a bit too big, but the balloon, the ice cream, the hat, the candle, these are all okay sizes. So I think I'm going to go for the balloon. I made 2 balloons, in fact. So this is a new unsullied stamp set. So get my A block and my grey granite ink pad, because the grey in the pattern paper is grey granite, so it's that lovely soft warm grey. And I think, let's see, shall I stamp off? Let's bring in a scrap. I'm sort of tempted to go for the stamped off. So we'll do one, and then we'll do another one. Perfect. And then I'm going to grab my string, because this is the string for the balloon, and pop that on my little G block. Yep, G block. And that I'm going to do full strength and just have it coming over the balloon a bit. That's absolutely fine. And I think that will do nicely. So that is our stamping. It's obviously going to be a much more simple image. Much more simple. That's really not English, is it? It's a rough approximation of something that once upon a time used to be English, maybe. Right, okay, so this is the classic label punch, and I am just going to punch those out. And then I'm going to grab a scrap, I know it's quite a large scrap, but a scrap of grey granite, and punch that twice. And one of these I want to cut in half. Almost in half. I'm just going to nip the ends off so that they are not pointy. And then grab my liquid adhesive again and just pop up a little bit on there, and then I'm just adding that on so that there's just a little bit sticking out the side, and this is going to help sort of square the whole thing up a bit, because at the moment the label is a bit long and thin, and I want it a bit shorter and fatter, as it were. And because we're using the liquid adhesive, we get that extra little bit of wiggle room. So that's that. Right, this should now be dry, so we can fold in our sides. And I'm just going to grab a very small circle punch. So I've just got my 1/2 inch circle punch, and I'm just going to punch a little circle out. So I can then pop a magnet underneath and then just cover it up, so that it's sort of hidden away. Glue dots are our friend for this. So let me find my piercing tool. I'm going to just pick up a glue dot and pop it, yeah, a reasonable way in. Whoops. Ideally so that the glue dot detaches itself. Now these are very strong, so you have to kind of slide them off. I have got some larger ones which are almost impossible to detach from each other. It is possible, but only just. So another glue dot, and then just pop that there, and it just kind of covers it up and neatens it up. And then we're going to pop one here. So, yep. So I was just thinking this through. So let's see, that one's there, that one's there. This needs to be more this end. Oops. Let's try that with a different glue dot. Are you actually in camera? Yes, you are. It's very odd. It's sort of bright outside my window, which is immediately in front of me, but and that's reflecting on my camera lens, which means trying to actually see what you see is not that easy. Right, okay, so this is where the magic of the magnet hopefully will work. It would have worked so much better if it had been in the right place first. There we are. So that kind of finds its own home. It may in fact be easier to put this one on and then, no, because you're working underneath. It's fine. It's fine. So I'm going to think about this for a moment. Yep, no, yes, no, yes. Don't want that yet. Let's not stick it to my work surface. Right, this I'm going to stick to the back of my label, so that the back of my label is neat, because we don't really want a gap down the middle. It's not pretty. So just line that up, and it helps smooth all the edges off a bit. And just kind of line that up. And then pop our glue dot there, if it would like to detach itself. Come along. Thank you. Right, and grab a couple of dimensionals. Pardon the noise outside the window. It's obviously our local kids showing off that they've got motorbikes. Just in case we didn't know. It's never quite worked out why it's necessary to have quite such a loud exhaust on a motorbike. But hey, that's just me. So I've just popped a couple of dimensionals there. And this takes allowance of the fact that the magnet is not flat. And just pop that there and squeeze it all together. And then you've got a nice neat back and it all just folds down. So there you are. Right, okay, actually I just need to add, don't I, some pearls. This time I've got the metallic pearls, and let's see, I think we'll pop one on each of the, that one's a bit stray, we'll pop one on each of the little bows, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. So these are just, you get silver as well, pearls, there we are, there's my pearls. So these are the Share What You Love artisan, and then you get the metallic, you get the silver and the gold. So really cute, and you get masses in this little packet of the metallic ones. So yeah, great. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, do give it a thumbs up. Do remember that if you don't already subscribe, if you hit the little subscribe button down at the bottom, and then once you've subscribed, hit the alert bell. Every time I post a video to YouTube, you'll get an alert. The other way of knowing when I post things is to go over to my blog, which is linked immediately below, and where you will find the dimensions and all the items that I've used to make these projects. So it's the link immediately below in the description bar. If you hop over there, you can subscribe to my newsletter and to my blog. And you'll find details about the bonus days, about the limited edition stamp set and framelets, all that good stuff. There's also information there about the Sunflower Awards, so lots of useful stuff there. I would love to welcome you as a customer. Obviously, if you have got a big order, you possibly want to think about joining my team. We are a growing bunch of merry crafters. So it'd be lovely to welcome someone else as well. And as ever, that is the best deal in the catalogue. And it would also mean you could, in your craft kit, in your starter kit, you would be able to put new Christmas items, because we have the Christmas pre-order period for demonstrators, where we can pre-order our autumn and winter items at a discount, which is fantastic. So just bear that in mind. And do remember, bonus days, if you need to just bump up that order a little bit to get the next £45, ink pads are always a good way to go. Only £7, and they're always useful, particularly if they're the new colours and you haven't got them yet. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining me again today, and I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks a lot.